I got in a fight with my wife this morning, and it was a little bit rough after the conversation because I get heated and you know what I'm saying. My name is Jason Feldman, and today I got one that's something from the heart a little bit. And it's a little bit of a new wound, but I want to talk about it because it brings up an old wound. I got in a fight with my wife this morning, and it was a little bit rough. I always hate myself after the conversation because I get heated and it's never good with kids around, and it's just, you know what I'm saying. So made me think of a quote from, I think his name was David McKay. He says, "No other success can compensate for failure in the home." And so although this had nothing to do with work this morning, it did make me realize that work has come in the middle of family, especially when we started. And we were building, even prior to that, going to school and working full time and just trying to make a life for the family. I think us guys do this a lot where we just, we want to build this life for us, for our family. And we put so much into this vision, this journey, this business that we're building. And when we do that, there are a lot of sacrifices in everything that we do. There is a sacrifice to it. And to build something extraordinary, it takes extra effort or extra time, especially time at the beginning. And when we were building, there were many times that my wife and I would get in a fight because I knew I had this vision and I wanted to build it bigger because I wanted to get to a point where we had freedom. Maybe it's 5 years out, but our kids are here today. Our family's here today. And you want to go to things, but you also want to put in that extra time to build a thing to provide the life for the future. So then you have this, you're on this teeter-totter of trying to do the right thing, working hard, showing your kids what it's like to put in effort, to do better than other people. I don't mean that from a selfish thing, but dude, you want your kids to do well, to put in a lot of care and time and something become their craft. I really believe building a business is one of my favorite things to do because I feel like it is a craft. It's like an art and I love doing it. I love talking about it, but it can be very consuming. So then you get through these periods of where you're all consumed and you're putting in a ton of time, but then you got to make time for vacations. You got to make time for your family. Maybe you're doing that and you're not showing up like you should. You're still kind of off in, somewhere else. And the conversation I had with my wife this morning had a lot to do with, it had to do with how long it took me to get ready.
How long will that take?
I don't know. This is way too much information, but I think I was wrestling with I have to do this for work and blah, blah, blah. And my brain is in multiple spots. And I do love my family. And you look back on arguments and conversations and you think your heart is in the right place. You're not arguing your point from a side of not wanting the best. That's where the wrestling in the mind of an entrepreneur is tough. And it's really tough. There is no balance. I know everybody talks about this work-life balance. If you're a business owner, there's no balance. Hey, you're spinning plates. You got your family, you got your business, you have goals, you have you yourself, you have all these different things, and you're trying to make everybody happy. And the ultimate goal is to, for your family. That's why you're building this thing. And it's you're spinning all these plates and there's always one that's about to fall and you spin that one, but then the other plates start getting out of control. So it's really tough. And I think you need to give yourself grace, but also realize the toll it takes on your family. Put it into perspective. If you feel wound, you got to unwind yourself. I was wound, it took that conversation, it took a fight for me to go, it's made me realize priorities. And it makes me realize dang, I'm always putting too much into one area and the balance is never there. It's spinning plates and I'm constantly running around, and it can be tough, but it can also be very rewarding at the same time. All of it. It's all rewarding, but it's all very tough to balance. So what I would say with all those things is that no success can compensate for failure at home. So if you truly believe the reason why you're doing everything in your business and everything is for your home, then that sits above there. And And there's something that I always tell my kids, it's to be kind, loving, caring, and sharing. If you're doing that and you're trying your hardest, then everything else will fall in place. You'll get all the results that you want. And I need to say, you know what? Family first. That's it. It has to be. There always has to be a number one. If it's not a straight line of this is number one, this is number two, this is number three. Well, I would say God's number one, but like physical here, it's family, then business. So that is the priority. If they're side by side and your family and your business is number one, they are always going to be conflicting. There's only one spot for number one. So food for thought. I just wanted to let you in on that. Think about it. And I will say there is no work-life balance. Hey, if you're a business owner, you know what I'm talking about because it's bananas crazy. What do you mean work-life balance? It's all the same. It's your life. As soon as you're balanced, you get thrown off balance. There's a bunch of people and emotions and things that, you can't control. So that's it. You want a top life, a top 1% life, then you have to deal with it. And 99% of people aren't. That's my thought. I'm Jason. And don't forget, no other success can compensate for failure in the home.